Good evening, councillors, citizens, residents, visitors, and welcome back to the Krayven streaming complex on this Sunday, the 7th of July, 2019. If it is your first time here, which for some of you it may well be, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming to check it out, and whether you've been here before or not, a very warm welcome to Story Sunday. Good evening, Citizen Effects. That's a lot of legits to start us off. I like that. Legit right there. Naomi, Sully, how you doing, mate? Yes. Oh, and on the beach, loving the photos, taking the family, the little family lamb and the munchkins, mini Naomi's over, and that rock from the Goonies. The rock from the Goonies. Those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, the Cravenstown in the photo galleries where I've been spamming all the stuff from Twitch London as well as all over Instagram and on that there Twitter. Naomi had some lovely bits with the baby and the toddler, the younger two of your four, out having an awesome day. And that little reference to the 80s classic that was the Goonies was absolutely awesome. So yeah, what do we got? I did effects, and it was amazing. Usually too hot or cold, too windy or cold day. It was just perfect. Sublime effects. I hope you are doing really well as well. All of you coming by, chilling out. Firstly, 1,000, 10,000, a million, perpetual, infinite pardons and apologies for the 20-minute delay. I am very sorry. I got out of London a little bit later than I expected to, but I was just wanting to get breakfast that turned into lunch with one of my very best friends who was putting me up for the whole weekend I was there, and we got to bed very late even after all of the Twitch London stuff finished, because we could only sort of catch up and chat in the evening, and I was not leaving Kingston without a full Sunday fry up. I had a very easy journey back. The Cravenstown mayoral turbo wagon performed magnificently, and on the way out wasn't too shabby. But when I got in, it looked like you had so much fun. Yes, and I'm going to tell you all about it, and I'm going to sing all its praises. As usual, I've written nothing down because I never do, and I'll be ad-libbing all of it, but I will do my very best to record it. So yes, we have got a sort of end of week substantial, I can totally English today. I'm not completely running on fumes and caffeine and everything tonight. See, this is my refreshed face. Don't I look refreshed? I think so. So I'm still hyped. I'm still like coming down from an insane and insanely awesome 48 hours, which Twitch London always is. But yeah, I was literally about sort of 5 p.m. I got in at 3:05, and about 5 p.m. I was kind of like really flagging, like properly about to drop down, like, can I do this on a Sunday? Would anyone truly mind on the back end of this? And then I was like, you know what? You need another cup of tea and a little bit of dinner. So I've had some roast lamb. It was just falling off the bone after a whole day in the slow cookers. That was all right. And you need a nice shower. And then I was like, I need to get all my prep stuff in place. And sorry if you're seeing like slight little frame rate drops. As those of you who've been here before know, Pillars of Eternity 2 is running in the background the entire time while I'm live streaming this bit for part 2, so that is hogging up the resources like a greedy gluteus performances. Oh, Naomi, thank you. I appreciate accurate observations of my stunning attractiveness. That's okay. Oh, the camera's look at that. Got my little pride sticker, my little pride heart sticker here. So yes, that's it. It's the Goonies rock. They filmed it in Astoria. Yes, it's on Naomi's lovely beach trip, and you should check it out in the photo galleries in Picture Canals district of Cravenstown. You can punt along merrily like you're in the Thames in Oxfordshire, where all the civilized people live, and which is a reference I would get to you. Gluteus maximus. Many people have that. They are thick with a double C. I have a gluteus fabulous. You know, it's a curse rather than a blessing. What can I say? And it's it's filmed in Astoria Rock, but the rock is even further down the coast on Cannon Beach. That is legit. That is very legit. And yeah, folks, you should check that. It's a lovely harbour. Naomi posts up like most heartwarming little family interludes that I love to check out in Cravenstown for sure. It's Citizen C, Diane. How are you? How you do? Of course, she caught you in the most excellent and marvellous and splendid Davnell streamer who I've known for a little while through Baby Leafer. He's a really nice guy, and I got to meet him at the weekend properly and chill and have a beer on the Friday and the Saturday night, which is great. He's a super nice dude. And FX says there was a monster storm here an hour ago. Oh gosh, yes, over in Bosnia. Electricity pylon exploded near your home. Holy shit. Electricity shut down for the whole neighbourhood. Socks and plastic chairs were flying around. Well, firstly, thank you for being here. That is a truly Herculean effort. Fuck you, weather, nature, universe. I'm going to tune into Story Sunday. I don't care if there's a genuinely dangerous electrical storm and like an actual natural disaster going on outside my house. That's amazing. Juice, citizen juice. Did someone say beer? Yes, you say it 3 times, and I'll pop up and join you in the pub. Or if you say quiche 3 times, I'll pop up and join you on a picnic. I mean, fuck it, right? Yes, YOLO and all that stuff. I would say I think that's what the kids say, but if it's come round to me and I'm saying it, then the kids are definitely not saying it anymore. It's instantly uncool. I'm over 30, so if I say things like lit or on fleek or YOLO, they're already out of date. We all know this. I accept that, and I'm okay with it. It's calm now. Well, good. Genuinely don't put your life and limb and like house electric wiring at risk for the street. I'm flattered, thoroughly flattered, if you would do that, but. All right. So, all of today's warm-up is going to be a longer one, like I say, is to sort of talk about in review and sort of come down, like kind of by going through all the stuff I'm still hyped up about that I want to tell everyone with Twitch London. So, it was a full weekend event, much like the one last winter, the 4th one. This is the 5th one, and the organisers have extended it to be a 2-day thing, I think with the original intention that people who come from a further afield in the UK and even from abroad, they've got more opportunities to do things to sort of merit the size of the trip they have to make if they're not sort of London or southeast centric. So it's a really nice idea. Everything for the mayor. My life is yours, master. Excellent. Oh wait, down hand. Don't give away the dictatorial side. We keep that on the down low. IRL C9 says IRL hay fever. Oh shit, sorry. I know flower spunk is an absolute nightmare. I entirely sympathise. The nicer the spring, the more petal semen is floating around in the sky. Virtual dealing with the dangers of going too fast. Virtual going too fast. Is this your rig is powerful? Or are you playing some very, very, very high speed games? Oh, folks, lovely to see so many lovely citizens' faces just rocking in, chilling, setting out. So Friday, I nipped down, got in the mayoral turbo wagon and blasted down. This time it's past its MOT. I didn't get any terrifying lights coming on saying my brake fluid was dangerously low, stop immediately, which shares the same goddamn warning light as that your handbrake is on sign at 90 miles an hour, which I got when I was going down to London last time and nearly made me fill my car with runny bum fudge. So that was smooth sailing. Got to my friends. My friend of mine, it used to be a housemate of mine when I was still living in London from a few years ago, and he's now got this super nice, super lush apartment with his wife in Kingston. He's super nice guy, one of my closest friends, and he offered to put me up for free, and they had underground parking under the whole block. It's like one of these sort of gated community apartment complexes, concierge, the whole 9 yards. It was great because it was baking hot. My car would have just melted in the sun, so this like cool underground car park bit was great. Got all that sorted, got clickers, got keys. It's got all this stuff to keep the riff-raff, the peasantry, the plebs out. And got unpacked, got settled in as quick as I could, and then I straight off with all my accoutrement to the picnic. So for the last 2 Twitch Londons, they've done a mini meetup, a mini sort of smaller casual event on the Friday, and then the main event, which is usually the party, the big thing, the actual Twitch London thing, is on the Saturday. Previously in the winter one, it was ice skating at Somerset House that you can just buy tickets for anyway, and this was a special one that we saw Twitch London booked out, and this time for the summer, because it's summer, it was a picnic. So Bushy Park, which is a short distance from Twickenham, and for me it was even easier. It's like between Twickenham and Kingston. Got the bus over there, and it's one of the huge park, one of the big green spaces in London, and lots of herds of deer that I thought actually might be a risk until, of course, they realise they're completely tame and all that stuff. Cathwar! Hello, Cathwar! Hey, how you doing? The first of the lovely people I met for the first time here, right, straight off the bat. Citizen Duncan of Florence is in here as well. Before I go any further, as I haven't seen any of the councillors in right now, folks, I met Cathwar and she is totally cool and really lovely, and you should go and see her channel and check it out. I'm looking forward to doing so myself. Thanks so much for popping up. I'm just underway now with the my personal review, take back of all the awesome things of Twitch London. It's been my favourite one thus far. Let me catch up. We were out until 7 a.m. Oh, holy Wow, you did the after party thing. I was a complete old man. I went back. I'll get to what I did. My God, Kath, where did you go? Where did you go? Because I know a bunch of people who are staying in the Marriott, next to Twickenham, stayed up a little bit, but you couldn't go into the bar there if you weren't a guest. Once again, no plebs allowed, all that kind of stuff. Right, let me just make sure I haven't missed anything there. The character in Warframe goes 40 minutes a second. Oh, of course, yeah, virtual going too fast, so you died. Because you keep making builds that are so broken they have to nerf the game. Stop being so good at Warframe, goddammit. And effects are sadly my neighbour's kitten died. Oh, Jesus Christ, from brain damage and saw something hit it and fast. Rest in peace, Cookie the kitten, 3 weeks. That's incredibly sad. Effects that I'm alright. Cookie the kitten. Damn the feels. Damn the feels, man. That is heavy. Citizen Duncan, lovely to see you. Lovely. How you doing? Camden, then Angel. I shan't interrupt. Oh, don't worry. I stop and read my chat all the time. I'm literally community first, like the whole bit. So I totally break my flow. I'll never lose my place. Great choices. Camden. I miss Camden terribly. It's one of my favourite places to go out. So yeah, we got to the picnic. Bushy Park is really nice. Dead easy. Awesome job by the organisers on the map. You could click it on the site and it would open up Google Maps and tell you the exact location to find it, which is good because Bushy Park is roughly the size of an entire county, and it's an hour's walk to get from one side to the other. So if you end up on the wrong side, you are, destination fucked. But that was all fine. Followed the purple balloons. There's a lovely tree. There was, I think, what may have once time been a pond, but was just a really depressing puddle nearby because it was so dry and been so hot. And there was Fred and Emily and a few people had already rocked up. Now, I decided I'd make a good showing with this picnic. I think this is going to become a little bit of a meme that I'll get the piss ripped out of me for next time I go into Fremely's stream, but whatever, so I'm going to totally own it. I decided I'd do a little bit of prep and like show good and come along with all the right stuff. So I brought a cooler, a full-on insulated proper picnic cooler, like sealed lid, the whole 9 yards, like something from the 70s that my family's had for ages, and I'm like, whatever, it's retro now, it's chic. And I had freezer packs in it. I had two 4-packs. I'd gone out shopping the day before and just picked up, right, what do I need for that I haven't got in the house already? So 2 4-packs of San Miguel, £4 for it. It's like £1 a tin, and it's nice lager, fantastic. I'm going to be the only one there who's probably going to have cold beer, so I'll instantly be everybody's friend. And picked up, and I decided, and I didn't realise just how Oxfordshire I've become since I moved back here, because I'm not exactly I'm aware, I've been told multiple times that I'm a little bit posh. I'm a little bit, kind of that way. And so I didn't think anything. I bought a quiche Lorraine, and around the house already I had some crackers. I bought some nice cheddar and some chicken liver pate. Went around kiwis, some fresh grapes, like make sure, don't want everyone getting backed up with cheese and carbs. Got to keep you regular, so have your fruit. Make sure that you're not hunched over the toilet after 2 days with nothing moving. HMS Unsinkable won't leave the dock, all that jazz. And just sort of what I thought would be a nice spread, some Irish whiskey cake, what else, and a few other bits and bobs with the full. Oh, and I bought 2 packets of jammy Dodgers because I realised I hadn't had any jammy Dodgers in 20 years. And if you're not from the UK, if you're in Europe or the colonies or wherever, jammy Dodgers are these awesome jam biscuits. They got a little heart in the middle that you can see the jam through, and they're just great, and everyone likes them. And Faith says, I love the pictures, and as always, you stole a show because you cry. Well, thanks. Won't deny it. Thanks. You're lovely. Thank you. To be fair, that's about the expected speed. It's just those maps weren't designed around the latest boost mods for Spring Break. I can't see, mate. It's straight. She knows what's coming. So, I thought this was relatively normal. I brought some fruit shoots for people and like water, because it's like beer apparently doesn't hydrate you. I contest the science of this. I think it does. Chicken liver well, of course, you're going to a picnic, you got to bring some crackers and pate and everything. We're not savages, goodness. So I brought all this along thinking this was quite good. Radler, okay, cool. Walked up, so anyway, get down. I got my blanket out, and I saw the spread, and Fred and them had gone to a Greg's and had gotten 2 like trays of sandwiches for everyone to collectively enjoy. Cool. And a few people rocked up with their candies and like Cadbury's mini rolls and a few bits and pieces. As I was unloading loading this thing, this like ridiculous hamper full of stuff, I started getting a few funny looks and all that. Hey, Coconut, thank you so much for the semi-lurk. Love a semi-lurk. And I love any kind of semi... Wait, yeah, no, you know what? Wind that back. Just love a look. I'm a Coconut. How you doing, man? Thanks so much. And there were some giant guys there. If you're 6'3", oh yeah, I actually had to look up to some people, and I'm 6'3", so that was like amazing. There were some genuine titans. They'd obviously had a hearty childhood filled with beef and radishes. I did all this, and I started to get some sort of looks because I brought cutlery. Now, I brought cutlery, and I brought a plate, and I brought a glass for my beer, because, you know, I was raised right. And a little plastic thing, but a container. And aka the Germanic version of shandy. Oh, whatever, Seed. I lived in Belgium for 5 years. Your beer is trivial to me. Drink that stuff at 10 to 14%, then we'll talk. And we just had this going on, and I just like... I don't know. It was just I thought it was completely normal, but I had Em saying about like Em and Fred and Em were just like, "How are you better prepared for this picnic than we are?" And from then on in, and only 30. Oh god. Okay, you know what? No contest. Fair enough. The Germans win. That's probably why you have Oktoberfest. And just went with it. But the whole thing was like a really nice. It was a lovely field, like long grass, stags around, people eating. But I was surprised that not that many people like dived in to share the food. I think a lot of people were meeting for the first time. Maybe like who felt that the decorum was okay and what they could do or whatever. People just wanted to do their thing. More groups of friends came, but my friend Eloa, lovely, awesome lady, who I was meeting there, came by with some of her mods and crew who I got to meet for the first time because they've seen me in their channel loads, like hanging out and stuff, as she always does a nice show during the day, my time. And all that stuff, and that was there. And I started, and I got out. I had my nut. I had a cheese knife, and I had my regular knife for my quiche, and I had some plastic cutlery for the other bits. And apparently, this is overkill. Who knew? So I was just putting stuff out, and I started cutting. Does anyone want some quiche? Who wants a cold beer? A couple of people pouring their chocolates and putting their beer into mine because I had to freeze blocks, and that was all that. And I was just like, well, I'm going to eat my food and enjoy this. And I took some of my grapes, and I had this whole bunch of them like properly hanging down, so it looked like some sort of Roman emperor, and I was just like, fuck it, go on. So I just decided to lean back, absolutely zero fucks given, just going on it. So I was going full hedonism bot. You've seen Futurama. I'm just like, I apologize for nothing. I'd eaten the bottom of them. Two of them came up and started filming me. Like one of the guys who was name escapes me because I'm completely idiotic with names. Fantastic with faces. I min-maxed my stats. 19 pointed faces, 1 point in names. He had this like full 4K digital camera. Decided to zoom in and like do me in slow mo 4K eating this. And Fred turns around like, "Em, you seen this?" Like looking at me doing this thing. Like just couldn't care less. And Em just turns around like, "You're literally banned from all future events." It was mint. So anyway, I was being like all silly in that. Yeah, Maya was there. He was I always try and catch up with him. Lovely dude, great streamer. And the rest of the picnic just like went like that. We all chilled out. There's the bits of background music, more people turned up. But overall, it's like 40 odd people at the picnic. So that was really nice. The weather held out beautifully, wrapped things up. And yeah, got a couple of people like, "Oh, do you want to come for dinner and stuff?" But I was in like one set of clothes. I was like, I had some smarter things to put on and wear to the Friday night event. So headed back, sorted myself out, bus, and then straight back to Twickenham Stadium. So Friday night rolls around, and Friday night is the VIP and sponsors event. So this is a special different thing. Again, this is the second time they've done it. The first time Twitch London Winter at I can't remember where, but the Twitch London Winter, and they basically, if you're a full partner, if you have one of those lovely verified ticks by your name, like the delightful Cath4 right there is demonstrating so aptly, or you're an up and coming affiliate, and I found out the winter one that is apparently, because I got invited directly to the winter one. 30 viewer average or above, you get a special invite to this party that the sponsors and various developers and groups who like want to talk to the influencers are going to be at, and it's a smaller kind of more cliquey thing. That's a really nice thing. That's a nice encouragement for sponsorship of the event, and is part of what helps pay for a lot of it, because the sponsors want to talk to understandably people who are sort of quite established and quite a lot bigger, and it's a really nice thing to hang out, and it's a lot more cozy and intimate and really good. So like I said, I got to go to the first one, but I was doing Pillars of Eternity back then, so some of you may remember I was getting those ludicrous number spikes due to being embedded on a third-party fan site, the Gamepedia thing. But this time around, plus ones were allowed, because at the first time they were like kind of no plus one, and a lot of people didn't necessarily feel sort of safe, or that actually are seeing strangers from real life for the first time, like from the internet. So this time they allowed it, and it also allowed for the bar minimum payment to be reached as well. Dick butt. Couldn't agree more. Were there any giant streamers? Yeah, I think a couple. I honestly don't watch too many big people, so I actually couldn't remember the names off the top of my head. I mean, a few of the people who were quite large, certainly by my standards, I'm friends with, that I saw, and that's what I wanted to do, because the Twitch London Winter one, I was like, whoa, there's like loads of people here, and I was like talking to a few and just chatting. But this time it was just because it's really nice way to see friends, like streaming friends, when you've got less people around, and in some cases like lots of quite big people, like people like Ruby True and Scissors, Sarah, and like other people who've got like these big communities who want to sort of go along and be there. They're there again as well. You can just sort of say hi and catch up, so don't have to go out of my way hassling them when there's people who aren't there on the Friday night, want to sort of come along and say hi, it's great to meet you, and be fans on the main Saturday. So yeah, it was really nice, and it was in a special, different bar, exclusive bit of the Twickenham Stadium, and yeah, it was just great fun. I got tons of time to catch up with a bunch of people. Met a few, like I met Davnell, as I was saying, who I was just on earlier for the first time in real life, and he's super nice. Bailey Lee, I've seen tons of times before, and she's a good mate. She'd just gotten partnered, so it was her first time going along to that as a partner thing. So I caught up with her and Mikey again. Saw Vegan Spaceman again for the first time, I think. Kath, I'm trying to think, Kath, I met you on the Friday night there as well. Vader was in a bloody velour t-shirt. Yeah. And Blue and Queenie, who I'd heard of loads. They're like the second biggest husband-wife, like couple partnered partners. The second biggest in the UK after Fred and Emily themselves, and they were super, super lovely. I think oh God, who was it? James, Helping Hands, who I've hung out. He's a friend as well. Sort of like introduced me, and Queenie just came over like, hey, I had a really nice chat with them as well. So that was just great. Nice drinks. It was really, really good. It was really chill, and yeah, like finished up, and that was Friday. Then on to the main event. So again, back at Twickenham Stadium, met up with Eloa and crew for lunch. A lot of people in the William Webb pub in Twickenham, mate. I actually know Twickenham quite well, because up until a few months ago I lived 15 minutes up the road, up until about the middle of March. I know many of you know I've moved to this house now in South Oxfordshire, and I was just a little bit gutted, because up until a little while ago I was really like could have put up some friends for free 15-minute bus journey straight to the stadium, but once we got into Twickenham Mains, like I knew everywhere I was going and walking around, so that was a nice little plus one, little perk thing. And it was just great. Weather was fantastic. So my husband and I are taking future UK visit inspired by your weekend of fun. Oh, cool. But he just pointed out how renting a car and driving being harder than other European trips. You'll have to drive the other side of the road, the steering wheel on the other side too. City Americans that we are. You'd be surprised how easy it is actually to adapt. It really is. Having had to do it when I lived on the continent, in continental Europe, for 5 years, it's not the driving that's so much and doing the thing. It's your reflexes, right? So when you're reading roundabout, well, okay, in the US you don't have roundabouts, it's all a grid system, but you'll encounter these magical devices called roundabouts, and they're way more efficient. But if you're like trying to turn and go left, and you're doing roundabouts and you're trying to sort of navigate, or you're looking at your mirrors, all of that's mirrored in your head, and that's the harder thing to generally deal with, I find. But I totally understand where you're coming from. You guys didn't die of the heat? No, actually, I was doing okay. My friend, let me just read that right. Sutje. My Dutch is a bit... Mijn Nederlands is een beetje slechter nu. Ik heb de taal van niet te lange tijd geoefend. My friend Sutje hated driving through the lanes as a left-hand drive car, but he's Dutch, so anything other than canals is a problem. Shirt. Oh, shirt. Yeah, trying to do the J. Sutje. Sutje would be pronunciation more or less. Duncan will be able to do it better, because he's actually Flemish. Yeah, I have to admit, I have heard that going from the American and the European way is harder to English is harder than if the English people going to the way the rest of the world does it. And I have to admit, I'm inclined to agree. So yeah, got there on the Friday, and yet, and one small thing, yeah, I saw a few people going about the heat and the air conditioning, or like, oh, why wasn't there air conditioning? And there was. It's just I think it could have been ramped up a little bit higher, but I noticed aircon. I don't know, I didn't struggle at all, and I made the stupid decision to wear this black wool top in the middle of the warmth like all day because I'm a complete idiot, and yeah, this was just absorbing all the heat, and I was just like, oh. But I was doing okay. I did notice some other people were struggling with the heat a bit, but I think stuff like that was a bit out of their control. It certainly wasn't like the last summer one, where by pure like bad luck, they had to change venue at the last minute, and then they set up the computers in the room that they were told to be fine, and then it's like, oh, the computers in a room with the air conditioning with the drip tray, so we have to turn aircon on. And then was like, I could have set the computers up anywhere. So that summer, in the middle of a heat wave, there was genuinely no aircon, so I could tell a difference between a Twitch London with no aircon and a Twitch London with just low aircon. And this one yesterday was the latter, but yeah, a couple of people mentioned it. But you're also absorbing the sweat, so a little body chiller. I wish it worked like that. To see you die, and sadly not. So the whole venue, those of you who don't know Twickenham, well, imagine like a big sports stadium, like as in a full international scale, the kind of thing where a UK or a US team would play. Twickenham is the home of English rugby, and rugby is a very big deal over here. So, I mean, it's colossal capacity. And how it worked was you went in through the gates, and they had the England changing rooms as a sort of LAN area if you wanted to do the gaming rather than sort of the partying and the drinking too much. They had the members lounge on the top floor up, that's normally for the VIP area for matches, fully open to go in and get drinks. There's no lacking for seating, because like half of like the whole one side of the match side of the stadium was open to sit down and chill in, and in the middle of one step they had the DJ deck set up, all the speakers going around. They had this party on the pitch, big huge floodlight purple, and if you've seen my pictures in Krayven's town, like I took a snap of that, so you've seen the kind of vibe and the layout of it was already. It was so cool. Who has a wool top even anywhere out of the closet during summer? Apparently Krayven, because I look dapper as fuck in it, mate. You can see this. This is the one. This is the one I was wearing. I love it. Oh, and there we are. Perfect timing by Craybot there. There's Krayven's Town. If you're not already a member, do feel free. What had happened, there was a party on the pitch, and a couple of people, I thought it was a bit of a trivial complaint to make. There's a few folks who had never been to Twitch London before. I think there's always the majority of people. It might be their first one, and there's a few of us who've done a few more. A few people I knew who were doing their first time there, like, oh, this is supposed to be party on the pitch, and it was up to the edge of the actual playing area, so still a quite substantial gangway all the way around. So if you imagine like the pitch from a top-down view, you had the tunnel coming out here, and then this bit going round, and the pitch is sort of in the middle there, and you had a bar here and a bar here, and then up the stairs that would be that going that way. Yeah, I said it was a party slightly off the pitch. What happened was it was supposed to be like actually on, getting half the pitch, including the play area as well. But when I was speaking to Em or Fred, one of the two of them, just like when they had a quiet moment, well, what would have been a quiet moment, but then I went and pestered them. The Metallica had played there like 2 weeks previously, and obviously everyone had been allowed right onto the pitch, which had completely fucked the grass, so they'd had to reseed it and let it grow, and it wasn't quite in a state to let like another big group. So apparently the original intention was like, yeah, you do literally get half the pitch, but then they had to be told no, so it was a bit more enclosed than they really intended it to be. Dabeen is in the house. Dabeen, I managed to catch him right at the end as well. Good evening. Another fellow streamer who I'd already knew from Mr. Redweird and had come by a little while ago, but I actually got to meet in person just on the latter stage. Make sure I do this with the underscore correctly. Do go give some love. He came by and he offers jelly beans to everyone he knows or he sees there, and he gave me a whole packet, so friends forever. I ate those at 3 o'clock in the morning while I definitely wasn't stoned, so thank you so much. They tasted extra delicious. Yeah, it was Archway. I could see why, because so there was a tiny little bit of crossing back and forth. But personally, I found that there was more than enough space to move around and get by. And with the main bar and the lounge being open, and the two on either side, and it's kind of horseshoe. It was really very little wait to get drinks at all for most of it. Again, that was really well organised, just like the winter one. Fantastic food. On one side, they had a sort of artisan pizza, like sourdough pizza, like absolutely peak London sourdough pizza that was like really nice quality. And then they had burgers, chips and all that stuff, and vegan options as well. And then an ice cream van, a full ice cream van at the far end. And that was and at the partners and the sponsors event on the Friday night, I forgot to mention, put a picture of it up. They had one of those liquid nitrogen ice cream things, so all those crazy sort of Heston Blumenthal like insane invented ice cream style thing. They served you a little what looked like a raw egg yolk in a tiny cup, and it was actually a little bit of peach, like a solid skin around this liquid peach, and you nailed it like something out of a Rocky movie when he does the 3 raw eggs in a cup before he starts jogging. And then all of that stuff at the sponsors event was free, so you got like this flash frozen ice cream that was completely lush, and it was so much fun. But Krayven, you really let yourself go. Gym, anyone? I need to get back to the gym. I so need to. Once the last part of the declutter is done, fitness. I'm not gonna be beach body ready this summer because it's already summer, and I'm more beach ball body ready at the moment. So yeah, and then they had an ice cream truck there, and it was all really good. Best things I liked about the whole thing, the merch. I got there a bit late for the merch. We got out of the pub. These were cool. I managed to snaffle the last of one of these, because normally in all the Twitch Londons, they've had these little sticker badges that can often fall off or sweat or get rubbed off as you go. But they had these really nice placard pin ones. They ran out if you were too slow, but I managed to get one of the last ones, and they were great. They stayed on. So I just love that little detail. I missed the free t-shirts enough, and there were cushions. There was some really nice rewards for the people who supported with Patreon as well, like the nice fancy Twitch cushions and some other bits and pieces. I should have got there earlier, but I was too busy just having a nice time in the Wetherspoons pub with for an extended lunch with Eloa and all her crew, and a bunch of mutual people, all of whom I got to know and made friends with. It was really great. So way more worth it. I've got Twitch swag from things before, and freaking TwitchCon EU and all that. And what I liked the most, I found it was the best Twitch London so far for having a chance to see everyone, or probably meeting up with everyone you could. I know I missed a couple of people, which I'm gutted about. I really tried, but because you were actually in a stadium and you could look down, and there was like a billion places to sit, and there was these groups, and you could arc, and the main border of the pitch, you're always crossing back and forth and seeing people. I think I managed to meet up or catch eyes or just say hi or have a hug with more Twitch and streamer friends and just like people like viewers and so on yesterday plus Friday than I have with all the previous 3 Twitch Londons and TwitchCon EU, and probably EGX and a few others combined. It was that busy. It was such a nice thing as well, because now having done about 4 of these, and since I started streaming, I took it upon myself to I felt more okay going to stuff like MCM Comic Con and EGX and RTX and like gaming conventions alone. I was never had anxiety or qualms about it, because if you've ever met me, I'm a very chatty person. I'll talk to anyone. I'll come up and just say hey to people all the time. But I couldn't really sort of justify the time off from work and the business side of it. But as Twitch is a part of my business and my main thing that I use to make money in, and I have this, and I put it all under the same auspice financially, I could justify it a little bit as a business expense and go ahead and do it. And I've ended up with this situation where I have this secondary social life where I end up seeing streamer friends and Twitch friends more throughout the year than some of my lifelong friends from childhood and secondary school and university, because you'll go off and have lives and scatter yourselves all over the country and the world, and you'll get together once every year sometimes, or every 6 months, whereas a number of folks, I'll see them every 2 to 3 months, or collectively, like I've seen streamer friends every 2 to 3 months or every quarter. You do talk 100 kilometers an hour. I'm assuming that's what, 5 miles or something. But yeah, yeah. Well, you know this effects. It's generally endearing, I think, to the majority. And I've ended up, it reminded me of caravan rallying when I was a real young lad with just myself and my mum. We couldn't afford foreign holidays. So if you're not familiar, it's where you have a caravan and you tow it away and you're a member of a club and you go to these sites and you end up as a young kid with like a whole bunch of friends from this thing that you do on the weekends. And then you've got your school friends and your neighborhood friends during the week. And in a similar sort of principle, I've got like my social life and I see all my friends around and about when I'm doing things, but on quite regularly, more regularly than I often see some of my far-flung university and school friends who live elsewhere. I see all these new streamer people, and all of that came together over the Friday and the Saturday. It sounds like a bit of a wanky humble brag, so apologies, but I was genuinely walking up the stairs. I got in, and there's like 3 or 4 groups of people having already met. Some of them I just met the Friday before, and others like I hadn't seen on the Friday, so catching. And I was like walking, I had some people like shout from the stalls because they were sitting in the stadiums. When I was on the way to the bar, I was like getting parked. I need a beer, I need a cider. So it's like, oh, Krayven, hey. It's like weird, but weird in a really nice way to hear your name sort of called out and someone's recognized you and stuff, like not necessarily from the stream but recognize you from a previous event before. So that was just, it was just great. And the venue for like being able to do that, the main thing of socializing was just a fantastic choice. The main thing of Twitch London is it's not a convention. So when I kind of mention TwitchCon EU, I just mean that in the context of another streaming and not just a gaming event, but a streaming event where I'm likely to run into a lot of streaming friends, because Twitch London has been, I think always will be, a community meetup that's meant to be a party and a celebration and a socialization of Twitch, especially with obviously heavy emphasis on the UK community because it's that easy for us to get there, but we get people coming in from Sweden and the Netherlands and France and like loads of top folks who come from Europe, because it's the only European in all of Europe still community meetup that exists. And it was fantastic for that, and it's a hell of a thing to go around Twickenham as well, because I used to go to Twickenham quite regularly for the rugby, and I've never gotten to be in the stadium other than in the stands when you're there like trapped like amongst 70,000 other people with your beers, or trapped, but you're watching the game. So to just go around and do all this stuff was great. And I think apart from 2 key people, I'm very gutted I missed Abs, ABZ Abs, who was there, and we didn't manage to cross paths, and maybe a couple of other folks, but just about everybody I got to see, and I made a ton of new friends. And thank you to everyone already who's like come by and dropped a follow. I haven't even had a chance to look at my card. I picked up like my wallet is like twice as thick with the people's Twitch cards and business cards and things like that. The whole thing had a chill vibe. Some people have like made some stuff like about the heat or like some of the pitch not being accessible, but personally I can't help but get away from the fact of how it used to be and watching how much better and how much bigger and how cool it's gotten and how more and more well organized it is every time. So I really couldn't fault it. The DJs, they had multiple this time. Lupac crushed it like he always does, but there was Moose, the Mexican Moose, and he's a lovely dude, and he was at the Friday event last night. He remembered me and was like, "Hi, how you doing?" And forget Hayden, who was a guy I didn't know, was there, and then Lupac came on, did his set, and it was wicked. And right at the very end, it had been muggy. It had been the most heavy, humid day ever. So yeah, once again, woolen top, like really smart plan. And it started to drizzle, but it was secretly a bit of a relief, and then it just sort of came hammering down. But obviously you've got the cover of the stadium, so if you wanted to really get out of the rain, you could like run into the stands and stuff. But we were like dancing, people let go, there were the circle dancing pits going on. A whole bunch of us, even though the Macarena didn't come on, started doing the Macarena in sync, but just all guys, until like a whole bunch of other people joined us. Like a whole line of us started just doing the Macarena to whatever was going on. Zero fucks given, never will be. And it was just great. It was tons of fun. 1,000 thanks to my friend Al, who was put me up for the 2 nights. I am very washed out because I'm useless at sleeping anywhere unfamiliar, and I had an airbed in the living room, and he had a full house anyway with another friend who's doing a TED talk staying for the weekend, and his wife's niece who's studying at Kingston University is working on a thesis paper, and a couple of them get up super early, and he and I like gone to bed at like 4 a.m. He's like, I'll come back here like, wow, it was a really long day, it was a great party. Yeah, man, do you want some snacks? Let's play some guitar. And like I would pick it up in the jam, or just like, oh, let's work. We on the Friday night, I got back in from the partners party and the sponsors party thing. And we watched Gary Moore doing a tribute to Jimi Hendrix blues on YouTube till like 4 a.m. Definitely not partaking in anything at all. We was good as gold, and just plain water and dry bread, and then off to bed. So I think I'm running on about 4 hours sleep on the whole weekend, but it's absolutely worth it. Yo, Mike, sorry, I just noticed a little bit of the chat popping up there, and I suddenly was completely mid flow. Mike, lovely to see. Lovely to see. Did I see any viewers approach me? The Bean came up to me. Pink Fluffy Tuna was there. He's a streamer himself. Has raided me a couple of times. Like, hey, how you doing? People have been lurking. Most of the folks there are fellow stress. OmniShift, how you doing? And Juice. Yeah, I saw the Macarena dance with the weirdest songs. Yeah, I was a proud part of the Macarena chorus line. And OmniShift, lovely to see you, mate. How you doing? Welcome on in. Resident OmniShift right here. So a large number of the folks there are other fellow streamers, but they're fellow streamers who I watch or who watch me. I saw Carl Alt Delete. I would genuinely struggle to list all of them. Dormus was there, K-Pow, Baby Leaf, Mikey, Bavnal, Maya, Scissors, Ruby True, Kath. I'd have to go through it. I met tons of new people as well, and I wanted to get my idiocy with names. I literally, just some people who've kind of dropped. There's PJ, Peter Jan, who was amazed that an English guy actually spoke Flemish at the end of one night. Mika, Yum, Knackered Housewife, Huntress, Legendary JL, Kath, just loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of people. Saw Fragman Saul as well, who I'd met at EGX and I hadn't seen, and we had the not quite recognition because I'd barely seen him since EGX last year, and we were at the bar at the Friday night thing for a little while, and then it's like, wait, have we? And then I showed him my backpack. So I've got this it's starting to grow in fame backpack covered in pins and badges, and it's the easiest way to recognize me. It's just like you see the grey tall guy, greyish looking backpack just loaded with pins and button badges. That's me. And I still had his from EGX, so he took a photo of that and tweeted it out. And I need notifications! Sorry, my account got deleted by Mike Hawk. I don't know who Mike Hawk is, but damn him, and I'm so glad it has been restored. Notifications are there's a little bell that will turn them on and off. Welcome to the chat. I think I'm sorry, I couldn't get it. I've obviously misread it. I figured it was a little bit of a play on words, but I didn't get the joke, so I decided to run with it. Pronounce it a little faster to figure it out. Deleted by my aha. Yes. Okay. Well, jolly good. Yeah, so that was Twitch London. That was Twitch London. Yeah, I really did. So the pictures are up. I spammed them all over Twitter. I actually decided to use my Instagram. I'm trying to get better. Got to do the socials. Got to push it. Got to be an influence. Don't worry, Juice. And the whole thing was a blast. And as you can tell, I'm completely buzzing. So yeah. That was Twitch London. That was Twitch London in a nutshell. As always, it was fantastic. 1,000 million thank yous to Fred and Emily, M Streams aka and Fred Streams aka Fremily, to Dame Bello and Sophie and Ben aka Original Meech, because Sophie and Ben are they're full-time organisers of it now, and they did so much that was good. Everyone I saw there already who I knew, and catching up with friends, it was, as always, it's just brilliant to see you. To the new friends who came by, speaking of which, new friends, Mikey J231, howdy, how you doing? People like Mikey, and meeting to Bean in real life, and Cathor, and yeah, it was just brilliant. As always, I knew I'd love it. I loved every second of it, and it was fantastic. And I'll probably, even though I'm completely exhausted, struggle to sleep tonight, so I'm just gonna be like, that was fun. There was a bunch of course, and it was London Pride as well, so there was loads of last little point, there's loads of nice Pride flags and stickers, so I've got a little roll of rainbow hearts. I'm still rocking that Pride love right here. And yeah, it was there was really nice to see all that was acknowledged. As always, it was a really, really inclusive, really, really friendly event, and it was a wonderful reminder of just what a nice platform streaming is and gaming culture, because there's always that little undercurrent. It's a little bit of an easy meme to say of oh, Twitch is toxic, and it's like no, it's not. No, it's not. And neither's gaming culture in the slightest. Now, everyone who's on Twitch, especially everyone who streams, by the full extent of the spectrum, I'm just going to get on my soapbox very temporarily here. The full spectrum of gaming culture is from the most casual, like, I just, do doodle jump on my phone, or even things like educational games, or a Wii in an old folks' home for just mobility, stuff like that. That's all part of gaming culture, right up to the most like dedicated esports professional player. I mean, anyone who streams is probably within the sort of hardcore end of the category. I don't mean like wanky, hardcore, gatekeeping gamers who think, oh, you shouldn't do this for casuals because that's not fair, and it should all be really, really hard, and only we should get to play. Not those people. I mean, like, we all play seriously, and to an extent to do this, we are professional gamers. We sort of, as part of the show and content creators, our content creation is usually to be professional gamers and try and make a living at it. And there's a little bit of a running undercurrent that, like, kind of, oh, gaming culture's toxic or Twitch is toxic. It's like, no, there's definitely a little bit of a toxicity problem, but the nice people on Twitch and the nice streamers out. Effects, thank you so much for the host of Krayven Sound Minions cheer in your honor, and outnumber the annoying ones and the bumholes about 10-1 or 100-1. The annoying bumholes, that little sliver of the pie chart, do take up more oxygen in the room than merits, because it's always the most obnoxious side that's the loudest side. But you go to a thing like Twitch London or Twitch, or especially something like Twitch London, where it's all about the socializing and like hanging out and saying hi and having fun, and you realize just about everyone there is great. I mean, sure, you get the occasional oddball, or a bit of a weirdo. Sometimes, unfortunately, some of the female streamers do have to be a bit cautious around the occasionally like overly eager or overly kind of weird person, and so I appreciate I'm talking from a perspective that's maybe not entirely representative of what everyone has to deal with, but it was just a really nice reminder that not only most people who do, or the vast majority of people who do this, are really, really nice and really, really really great, but also decadency. It's 88 miles an hour. You see some serious shit. And
hey, man.
Hey, citizen decadency, you absolute beauty. Thank you so much. Then exactly, there's always toxicity, whether IRL and online. The trick's not to give a damn about the toxic ones. Exactly, yeah, don't feed the trolls in the serious sense. But it's just that reminder, and not just that, the viewership, the vast majority of the viewership and obviously the ones that are a bit more, that way, are usually a bit younger and a bit immature and like isolated of very few games and so on. But the vast majority are like people like us and communities like you, lovely, marvellous, handsome, sexually proficient people who decide to come by here and hang out. And every time I go to Twitch London, it reminds me of that, and it reminds me of those kinds of things more than probably any other convention or gaming event on my calendar, and this was absolutely no exception. As Naomi says, yeah, I can't take the toxic stuff, and I haven't found one stream I followed to be toxic at all. I guess many of them have been the ones that you rate. Yeah, like attracts like, and nice people come by here and hang out, and I find that the nice people stick around here, and the ones who aren't so nice don't really get much feedback, so they bog off into the septic tank where they live, and I try and pick the nice people to go and hang out with. Oh, Mike, he said, I'm pretty certain you're the one Harley told me to watch because he's also tall. Oh, yes, Harley. Bread. Oh, God damn it. I have a sticker. She gave me a sticker, and I'm going to put it on my laptop. It's Bread. God, you see what I'm like? I see. She was so sweet. She was so nice. Bamie said to chat to her because she's super cool. And Bread Witchery, that was it. That she was really, really nice. We play a lot of the same kind of content. And yeah, that was another one who was super, super awesome. Because he's tall. Also sounds like he left Twitch London too early if you missed the Macarena. You didn't miss the Macarena. You just missed a bunch of us being complete drunken idiots doing the Macarena to any old music that came on. It was totally worth it. But yeah, well, Mike, as long as you had a good time, as long as you had an absolute blast, it's going to be okay. If you think about it, even if you do gaming casually, you still have to know how to play the game, because some people just come for the gameplay, so fuck the toxic ones. Exactly. And Coconut says, I saw the organisers that there was like one person who was toxic, is no longer... Yeah, and out of 3,000 people, that's probably a good representation of how it's like, when it comes to the internet, that one person will get more people getting pissed off at them than they actually represent. Exactly. In short, Twitch London was awesome. Everyone at it was awesome. I had an awesome time, and it was just fantastic. It just keeps building. Or come in here and lurk with that delightful Dawn Whisper lurk emote. Bread Witchery, legendary JL. Hello. Another marvellous person that I got to meet as well. How you doing? Right. So Twitch London review. done warm up. I hope you enjoyed it. The photos are up there on my Twitter in Cravenstown itself and on my Instagram. Pick your poison if you want to check them out. It was great, and everyone I met there was so great. So let's start reading some stories. We've got a few submissions, all from the delightfully debonair Duncan of Florence. So those of you who haven't been here before, this is the bit where I do some reading to some community submissions. I take in anything from fun articles in science or interesting sort of social commentary bits, great stories from Reddit that are like getting lots of upvotes and traction from the usual things like Tifu today I fucked up, or I don't work here lady, or things like that. And I'm even open to like reading poems if it's I was kind of like, maybe someone will have a nice sort of poem about like Pride or something, because it's been Pride month, and this weekend in London as well was London Pride, so stuff like that's open. So here we go. I'm good, just knackered. I was, and then I started the show, and now I'm full of beans again. But yeah, I won't lie, Legendary, I'm very much running on fumes. I got so little sleep the whole weekend, but I think the most risky part was driving back. I had like an hour and 45 minute drive in the baking heat and trying to get through all the London traffic. I was like, I'm not going to go insane. I'm not about to go postal. And once I was on the motorway, I was like, oh, fine, I just got autopilot now. So I just realised I completely forgot my happy background music while describing all of that, so I'll just have it there. I always forget my warm-up happy music, like 2 out of 3 times or 3 out of 4 times. Right, hopefully that's not too loud for you. Let me tell you, just tell me if this is a little bit drowning out my voice or anything like that. Your fumes performance is vastly superior to I couldn't possibly say. I would not assume that's you dying, but thank you so much for saying. There are LGBTQ pride poems. All right, excellent. Thank you. Effects, I would happily read some out. Maybe we'll get them a week later if someone gets shared in the suggestions forum in the Cravenstown Streaming Complex District. Right, so this first one from Mr. Duncan of Florence. This is a new Reddit subreddit that I've never seen before, and it's called NotTheOnion. So this is Reddit's finest news source, and the news source, not news source. That sounds like some sort of pustule that shouts out information. And the general consensus of this is for true stories that are so mind-blowingly ridiculous that you could have sworn they were from The Onion. If you don't know what The Onion is, it's a satirical newspaper. It's like the most famous one. It's very, very funny. So this is: man jumps off boat in Shasta Lake to avoid sobriety test, then asks deputy to rescue him. So this is actually an external article, but that's the title, posted by user TYY365 18 hours ago. It's got a few upvotes. So this is from ABC 7 KRCR News. Man jumps off boat in Shasta Lake to avoid sobriety test and asks deputy to rescue him. Shasta Lake, California. Officials say an Oregon man who spent the 4th of July boating on Shasta Lake near Bridge Bay jumped into the water to get out of a sobriety test, but then asked a deputy to rescue him. Deputies say it happened at approximately 6:15 p.m. on July 4th, after a person reported a very intoxicated boat operator at the Bridge Bay gas dock. Deputies responded and found the ski boat in question near No Name Island and stopped the boater, 31-year-old Robert Callahan of Klamath Falls, Oregon. Considering he's from Oregon, I assumed he might have been stoned. When the deputy asked Callahan to get into the patrol boat for a sobriety test, Callahan took off his hat and life jacket and instead jumped into the... He took off his life jacket before jumping into the water. Is this guy not from Florida or something? Callahan swam about 50 yards away before he asked the deputy to pick him up. Once Callahan was rescued, he got onto the patrol boat and failed the sobriety test with a blood alcohol level of 0.29%. Holy shit! That's... You could set his blood on fire. Callahan was arrested for reckless/negligent operation under the influence of alcohol/drug and reckless/negligence operation under the influence of 0.8% or more blood alcohol content. Meanwhile, deputies say the boat's owner, 31-year-old Riley Hogue, was too intoxicated to care for his own safety or operate the boat and was arrested for being intoxicated in public. Both Callahan and Hogue were transported and booked into Shasta County Jail. The Shasta County Sheriff Boating Safety Unit would like to remind people to not drink and drive a vessel. Sound advice. Outstanding. Well, we're off to a flying start. No Name Island. Apparently that's the actual name of it. Can I link up to the post later? Yeah. just go right ahead. Just why? I don't know, because America, because 4th of July, because being a pirate sounds better in your head than possibly in real life. He didn't want to get his life jacket. That's what cracks me out. Like, kind of, you're intoxicated. Oh no, I'm going to dive away. Let me get rid of the anti-drowning thing I'm wearing. Well, you know, the decisions when we're drunk. We've got another one from NotTheOnion. This is... Well, I feel like that one's a tad louder in my ears. I'm just going to knock that down fractionally. This is... Oh my word, another one. Family making funeral plans for relative shocked when he shows up at barbecue. Oh my. Well, alright then. Let's see what this is about. This is from... Oh, let me just give the user the credit on Reddit, sorry. This is from user mit_schmackers. Delightful. It's from WSB TV Atlanta, of course, it's from America. Family making funeral plans for relatives shocked when he shows up at barbecue, from ABC News. In Chicago, Illinois, a family that was making funeral plans for a beloved relative who authorities said had died in hospice care was shocked when the man showed up at a friend's barbecue, exposing what the family says is a fatal case of mistaken identity on the part of Chicago police and hospital officials, NBC News reports. And there's a tweet, yeah, oh, I don't need that. I found a poem named Duncan. Oh, cool, go for it. I don't need that. I'm Michael Phelps. Christ. ABC News tweet, a family making funeral plan. Yep, family. Yeah, okay, that's just an abbreviation of it. Alfonso Bennett was out of town when police brought an injured and unidentified man to Chicago's Mercy Hospital, according to a lawsuit filed Wednesday in Cook County, Illinois. Although the man's face was disfigured by injuries, police used mugshots to identify him as Bennett, the suit says. When members of Bennett's family were called to the hospital, they insisted to doctors that the patient didn't look like him, but they were told repeatedly that the identification was correct and that they were just in denial, according to the lawsuit. I said, "Doc, I understand what you're saying, but I cannot recognize him as my brother. He was beaten," Bennett's sister Rosie Brooks said at a news conference Wednesday, according to ABC Chicago station WLS. When doctors recommended to Bennett's family that he be removed from a respirator and transferred to hospice care, family members reluctantly agreed, and then grieved when he died 3 days later, according to the suit. Then, as the family was preparing for his funeral, Bennett, who had been travelling out of state, returned to town and showed up at a friend's barbecue, completely unaware that he had been pronounced dead. She said, "He's here! He's alive!" Bennett's sister, Yolanda Harvey, told reporters. Authorities then transferred the body of the misidentified man to the Cook County morgue, where...
Missed you at Twitch LDNM8.
Yes! British Gaming Black, I saw your face mask. I saw you going round. So just take a little pause in the story there. I saw you going round with the full gas mask. I saw it briefly. I was like, shit, I need to go and catch him. I think I saw you from the stalls at one point. You were talking to I'm Stallion. It was his first on there, and I'd caught up with him. And then I didn't see you again. 1,000 pardons. And thank you so much for the 5 biddies. It's really, really good to see. Right. Must do a shout out. One of the most recognizable people at any Twitch London event. I am very sorry as well. 1,000 million billion pardons. Go and give British Gaming Black some love. You won't regret it. And I saw you there. It's like you're easily the most spottable person. But then I somehow lost you once the Lupac came on and it all got setting up next time. Because I'm sure you'll be at the winter one. If not before, at something like EGX Birmingham or whatever. Honestly, dude, we'll have to get a bit. I missed a few people. I did. I tried my best. But thank you so much for swinging by here. Next time. Absolutely. Pig swear. So it's alive. That's it. Authorities then transferred the body of misidentified man to the Cook County morgue, where fingerprinting identified him as 68-year-old Elisha Brittman. At that point, officials contacted Brittman's family to inform them of his death. It just brought a lot of trauma to the family, the Brittman family and the Bennett family, said Tracy Brittman, Elisha's nephew. Now, members of both families are suing the Chicago Police Department and Mercy Hospital over the mistaken identity. Understandable. The lawsuit contends that both the police and the hospital failed to correctly identify Brittman, and the hospital representatives negligently convinced plaintiffs to make quality of life and end-of-life decisions for a person they did not know. The Chicago Police Department did not immediately return ABC News' request for comment, I bet they fucking didn't, but told the Chicago Tribune that they have opened a death investigation. Pretty sure it's been solved, but yeah, that's, go for it. To say... Oh, so when I'm scrolling down, I sometimes lose my pace. To say that we currently have questions is an understatement. The department said in a statement, "We have detectives looking into every aspect of this incident, from the incident response to the circumstances leading to the hospitalization and a notification of family members." A spokesperson for Mercy Hospital said he could not comment on ongoing litigation. The family say the mistaken identity could have been avoided simply by checking the patient's fingerprints when police brought him into the hospital. I can't believe that. Like, you got blood, you got DNA, you got fingerprints, you got modern science and medicine. How do you make a cock up like that? The bottom line is this mistaken identity situation was something we think could have easily been avoided and should have been avoided, said Canon Lambert, the family's attorney. Yes, couldn't agree more. Outstanding once again. And then we've got one from Today I Learned. Now this is the basis of this thread is literally you learn something new every day. So yeah, you learn something new every day. What did you learn today? Submit interesting and specific facts about something that you just found out here in the Reddit r/TodayILearned, abbreviated to TIL. So this one from user Tokyo Owner, I haven't missed anything. That will be a withdrawn medical license. Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it. Thank Krayven, you're a stand-up gentleman. No, you are. We are stand-up gentlemen. We like to stand up, and we're gentlemen. TIL, in 2013, Britney Spears' music was used by British naval officers to ward off Somali pirates in the east coast of Africa. According to one officer, as soon as the pirates get a blast of Britney, they move on as quickly as they can. Posted 21 hours ago by user Tokiono, 4.3 thousand upvotes from The Guardian /music. Oh, go on then. Oh, okay, this is about 5 years old, this article. Like I say, 2013, but today I learned. So someone learned it today, and I'm learning it just today. Hopefully some of you are as well. Britney Spears music. Britney Spears music used by British Navy to scare off Somali pirates, and as I've already explained in the title. In an excellent case of here's a sentence you won't read every day, Britney Spears has emerged as an unlikely figurehead in the fight against Somali pirates. According to reports, Britney's hits, including Oops, I Did It Again and Baby One More Time, are being employed by British naval officers in an attempt to scare off pirates along the east coast of Africa. Perhaps nothing else, not guns, not harpoons, is quite as intimidating as the sound of Miss Spears singing Ooh, Baby, Baby. Merchant Naval Officer Rachel Owens explained the tactics to Metro. Her songs were chosen by the security team because they thought the pirates would hate them most. These guys can't stand Western culture or music. Okay. Making Britney's hits perfect. As soon as the pirates get a blast of Britney, they move on as quickly as they can. Britney is currently preparing to release her 8th album, Britney Jean, in December. It follows the single Work Bitch, although producer Will I Am claimed the sound of this track is not indicative of the rest of the record. Sure. No doubt the record's eclectic sound has been designed to keep any potential pirates on their toes. Britney Jean will be Spears' first album since 2011's Femme Fatale. When it's released, perhaps the British military can stockpile copies down a bunker in Norfolk in preparation for the Third World War. Jesus! The Guardian throwing some truly Guardian-esque snark at the end there. Well, that was brilliant. Awesome, fantastic. Oops, I kidnap again. I gave you my heart. You'll get it back for 5,000 euros. Awesome. Yeah, Fex, go for it, man. And the last one we've got... Oh, actually, you know what? Fex, you've already posted some of them in there. I will do one of them today. So we've got one... I'll try and do it justice. So we've got one as an acknowledgement for Pride. So I'll do the last of the Reddit things, and then I'll do the first one you posted, provided... I'll just give it a quick scan, make sure it's all good. All right, so the last one of our Reddit ones, again, Today I Learned, and the fourth and final submission of this week from citizen Duncan Florence. So, posted by user explosive_apples 1 day ago, 1.7 upvotes. Today I learned that in 1485, a disease named English sweating sickness broke out, I'm assuming that's what most of us had yesterday, broke out, causing people to sweat to death in a matter of hours. The disease claimed the lives of tens of thousands before mysteriously vanishing. And this is a Wikipedia article. All right, well, I don't know how long this will necessarily be, because Wikipedia might be quite substantial. I'll try and do... Okay, no, it's not too long. I'll give you guys the whole blurb. So, sweating sickness, also known as English sweating sickness or English sweat, okay, was a mysterious and contagious disease that struck England and later continental Europe. In a series of epidemics beginning in 1485, the last outbreak occurred in 1551, after which the disease apparently vanished. The onset of symptoms was sudden, with death often occurring within hours. Its cause remains unknown, though it has been suggested that an unknown species of hantavirus was responsible. Signs and symptoms. John Caius was a practicing physician in Shrewsbury in 1551 when an outbreak occurred, and he described the symptoms and signs of the disease in a book or counsel against a disease commonly called the swait or sweating sickness. So that's written in Chaucerian Middle English, which is the main historical source of knowledge of the disease. It began very suddenly, with a sense of apprehension, followed by cold shivers, sometimes very violent, giddiness, headache, and severe pains in the neck, shoulders, limbs, with great exhaustion. It sounds like a basic anxiety attack. The cold stage might last from half an hour to 3 hours, after which the hot and sweating stage began. The characteristic sweat broke out suddenly without any obvious cause. A sense of heat, headache, delirium, rapid pulse, and intense thirst accompanied the sweat. Palpitation and pain in the heart were frequent symptoms as well. No skin eruptions were noted by observers, including Caius. In the final stages, there was either general exhaustion and collapse, or an irresistible urge to sleep, which Caius thought to be fatal if the patient was permitted to give way to it. One attack did not produce immunity, and some people suffered several bouts before dying. The disease tended to occur in summer and early autumn. Epidemiology. 15th century. Sweating sickness first came to the attention of physicians at the beginning of the reign of Henry VII in 1485. There is no definitive statement that the sickness was present in troops landing at Milford Haven. Henry arrived in London on the 28th of August, soon after the Battle of Bosworth, and the disease broke out on the 19th of September 1485. It had killed several thousand people by its conclusion in late October that year. It must have seemed like some sort of plague. Among those killed were 2 Lords Mayor, 6 aldermen, and 3 sheriffs, probably the only people who were important enough to have records of at the time. This alarming malady soon became known as the sweating sickness. It was regarded as being quite distinct from the Black Death, the pestilential fever, or other epidemics previously known because of the sweating, which gave it its name and its extremely rapid and fatal course. It reached Ireland in 1492, when the Annals of Ulster record the death of James Fleming, 7th Baron slain from the plague allies newly come to Ireland. The Annals of Connacht also record this obituary, and the Annals of the Four Masters record an unusual plague in Meath of 24 hours duration. People recovered if they survived it beyond that 24 period. It did not attack infants or little children. Well, thankful for small mercies. However, Freeman denies that this plague was the sweating sickness, despite the similarity of the names. He thought it to be relapsing or famine fever, possibly typhus. If it was indeed hantavirus, then good night to this world should it ever resurface. Yes, one of those things we won't have really much natural immunity or any kind of thing to deal with, because you can't cure viruses, only bacteria. 16th century epidemiology. Nothing was recorded of the ailment from 1492 to 1502. It may have been the condition which afflicted Arthur, Prince of Wales, the elder brother of Henry VIII of England, and his wife Catherine of Aragon in March 1502. Their illness was described as a malign vapour which proceeded from the air, of course, a touch of the vapours. Other suggestions include tuberculosis, aka consumption, the Black Death, and influenza. Researchers opened Arthur's tomb in 2002, but could not determine the exact cause of death. I just realised how inappropriate the music is for talking about something like this. One possible cause was a genetic ailment, which also affected Arthur's nephew Edward VI. Catherine recovered, but Arthur died on the 2nd of April 1502 in his home in Ludlow Castle, 6 months short of his 16th birthday. A less widespread outbreak occurred in 1507, followed by a third and much more severe epidemic later that year, which also spread to Calais. It was frequently fatal. Half the population perished in some areas. It reached epidemic proportions in 1528 during its fourth outbreak. It first broke out in London at the end of May and speedily spread over the whole of England, save the far north. It did not, well, there's worse things in the north, I suppose. Sorry to all my northern fans. It did not spread to Scotland, though. It did reach Ireland, where Lord Chancellor Hugh Inge was the most prominent victim. The mortality rate was very high in London. Of course it was, because London was a cesspit. Henry VIII broke up the court and left London, frequently changing his residence. The disease suddenly appeared in Hamburg, spreading so rapidly that more than 1,000 people died in a few weeks. It swept through Eastern Europe as an epidemic caused high mortality rates. It arrived in Switzerland in December and was carried northwards to Denmark, Sweden and Norway, and eastwards to Lithuania, Poland and Russia. Cases of the disease were not known to occur in Italy or France, except in the Pale of Calais, which was controlled by England at the time. It also emerged in Flanders and the Netherlands, possibly transmitted directly from England by travellers. It appeared simultaneously in the cities of Antwerp and Amsterdam on the morning of the 27th of September. In each place, it prevailed for a short time, generally not more than 2 weeks. By the end of the year, it entirely disappeared, except in eastern Switzerland, where it lingered into the next year. After this, the disease did not recur on mainland Europe. Final outbreak. The last major outbreak of the disease occurred in England in 1551. John Caius wrote a book or counsel against the disease, commonly known called the Sweet or Sweating Sickness. Of an eyewitness account, Henry Matchin also recorded this in his diary. Oh, I love this. It's written in very, very old English. On the 7th day of July began a new sweat in London. The X-day of July 1551, the King's Grace removed from Westminster unto Hampton Court, for they died certain beside the court, and caused the King's Grace to be gone so soon. For there dead in London many merchants and great rich men and women, younger men and old. I'm starting to sound really Norwegian. Of the new sweat, the 16th day of July died the sweat of the younger dukes of Suffolk of the sweat, both in one bed the Cambridgeshire, and they are dead from the 7th of July and to the 19th day of the sweat in London of all the dioceses, and no more in Arla. Love Chaucer. Chaucerian English. Reference is made in 1551 to an outbreak in the Halifax parish, resulting in the deaths of 44 persons. There was an outbreak in Tiverton, Devon in 1644, recorded in Marvin. There, fine. And as a little bit of a popular culture reference, just a little bit, yes, to title it to latest things is actually... no, there's nothing particularly there in the popular culture that's recent and stuff, popular by something other else. Also, well, that was particularly interesting. I learned that today, so did all the rest of you. And we're going to finish off the part 1, the live reading section, with this little poem, just submitted now by Mr. Effects there, Citizen Effects. And this is from May 1970. And this is called Homosexuality. I generally keep politics, current affairs, and all that kind of stuff out of the channel. But those of you who don't already know, this is a very welcoming, open space, completely non-toxic. However you identify, whatever your ethnicity, and however you like to be, you are very welcome here. We have a focus on mental health awareness, and mental illness, supporting it, openness to it in Cravenstown and here. And given it has been London Pride, and it has been the tail end of Pride Month, and we've seen the biggest London Pride ever, which is fantastic and of course entirely fabulous. I'm looking forward to giving this a read. So a poem called Homosexuality, published in May 1970 by Frank O'Hara. I'm doing this blind, so I will do my very best to do it justice. fact, I will at this point completely mute the music, so take a little bit more of a proper tone. And let me just read the chapter before I start. Today I learned about a Swedish straw goat where it's tradition to try and set it on fire even though it's illegal. That's just messed up. That's horrid animal cruelty, but that is a thing that has been learned. So, Homosexuality by Frank O'Hara. So we are taking off our masks, are we? And keeping our mouths shut, as if we'd been pierced by a glance. The song of an old cow is not more full of judgment than the vapours which escape one's soul when one is sick. So I pull the shadows around me like a puff and crinkle up my eyes as if at the most exquisite moment of a very long opera. And then we are off, without reproach and without hope that our delicate feet will touch the earth again, let alone very soon. It is the law of my own voice I shall investigate. I start like ice, a finger to my ear to my heart, that proud cur at the garbage can in the rain. It's wonderful to admire oneself with complete candour, tallying up the merits of each of the latrines. 14th Street is drunken and credulous. 53rd tries to tremble, but is too at rest. The good Lover Park and the inept a railway station, and there are the divine ones, who drag themselves up and down the lengthening shadow of an Abyssinian head in the dust, trailing their long, elegant heels of hot air, crying to confuse the brave. It's a summer day, and I want to be wanted more than anything else in this world. Ooh. Oh, 2 seconds. Okay, yes. I was just making sure there wasn't a second page to that. So there we are. That's quite a powerful thing. Homosexuality by Frank O'Hara. Effects, thank you so much for putting that in there. And the other ones, we will use those to start off. There's one by called Duncan and Body Without the D, which we will start off next story Sunday with. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed part one. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, because we are now going to crack on with some Pillars of Eternity 2. I just got to obviously update the old DT deets in the channels. Now's a perfect time to get yourself a little drink, go for a little wee break or whatever you need, get yourself a snack, and we will be literally straight back. No problem. It was. Thank you, Effects. Thank you so much for putting that. I'm really glad to get a little bit of something out. Pride, legit love for everyone, no matter who you love or how you choose to identify it right here.